Hi there, everybody. This is David, and as you might be aware, I am a huge Final Fantasy fan, especially a fan of Final Fantasy V. I think that the job system there is just absolutely fantastic, and I just cannot get enough of it. I just love job systems in general. I think that any RPGs that have a job system is just kind of elevated, above the rest. I just love them. So whenever a member of my Discord community turned me on to this game, Dungeon Antiqua 2, I saw it and I had to play it. And whenever you see the screenshots, you will know exactly why I had to play it. It's so freaking cool, and it's available right now on PC, not consoles, unfortunately. It might be coming to consoles, I don't really know. It looks like it was developed by a Japanese developer, but it is in English, so I can't exactly reach out to them and ask them or anything like that. So I'm not really entirely sure, but I do want to deep dive into it and let y'all know about it as well. And I definitely do think that's worth the sub as you come and you join our party and you level on up with me. Thank you so much for your sub, your like, and your hype. It helps me out a ton. I've gotta say, I have not really been this excited about like an indie game since The Secret of Varonis. That was like the homage to the Final Fantasy Legends series that I grew up with on the Game Boy. And well, for this video, I just played the demo. Immediately after I was done scripting and I turned it off, I was like, whoa, I have to buy the full game because I just love it. Like, I just love it. So let me go ahead and like deep dive into what this is all about. You've seen the graphics, so you obviously know what the inspiration is, and it's Final Fantasy V, classic SNES Final Fantasy games like that. And at the very get-go, it kind of has like a Final Fantasy I vibe, where it says, hey, here's your party, choose your 4 job classes, and you have 5 different job classes to choose from, but you can get more job classes as the game progresses. It looks like there's 10 job classes, but that's because there's like a male and a female version, but they're still the same job classes and all that kind of stuff. So you have your fighter, who has high strength and heavy gear. You have your thief, who has high agility, learns skills for exploration, a monk with high vitality, who can fight with his bare hands, a mage who has, offensive magic, and a priest who has healing magic. You can also like change their colors to like, suit your needs or whatever and kind of customize them to your own look, which is pretty cool. But what's not cool is that it is keyboard support only. I could not get a controller to work for it, so that really sucks. But this is a very basic turn-based RPG, so it's not like that big of a deal, you know what I mean? And that also means that it might not be Steam Deck verified. I'm not sure. I don't have a Steam Deck, so I can't check it myself. But anyway, I went ahead and I chose the fighter, the monk, the wizard, and the priest, like the Final Fantasy I classic party, and then you're thrown into Canaria to do your shopping. Actually, I have no idea what the name of the town is, but I'm going to call it Canaria anyway, and that is your hub town from which you then select your dungeons. And I've got to say, it's really cool that like a lot of thought went into the weapons and the armor and things like that. Like you'll have a poison rod that can deal like poison damage, or weapons that can have like inflicting paralysis, things like that. Same thing with armors that will like protect you from status ailments. And then you'll get like goblin sword that will deal like more damage to goblins, kind of like, the swords, the racial swords, I suppose, over in Final Fantasy I, like the were sword that dealt more damage to like werewolves, or the mage sword that dealt more damage to like mages and things like that. There's also a row system, which is very similar to the row system in Final Fantasy II for the NES. Remember how there, if you're in the back row, you can only attack with ranged weapons like a bow or magical spells or things like that, but nobody could like attack you unless they used a bow or a magical spell? It's the same thing here. So you want your bow users or your fragile magic casters in the back row, your physical fighters over in the front row. If you go into the skill menu, you'll get to see like what each job class's base skill is. Like the fighter gets like a two-handed skill that increases their attack power by 50. The monk has a bare-handed skill that increases their attack power when they're unarmed. The mage gets mage spells, the priest gets priest spells. And then it also shows what abilities they will be learning as they meet specific JP thresholds. And it's not a mystery. You can go over and you can look at them and you get like a little description and stuff like that, so you can kind of plan out your party and how you want to do that. And another really cool thing is that they can have up to 3 different sub-skills equipped, not just 2, like in Final Fantasy V. However, only 2 of those can be command skills, so the other one would have to be a passive, or you could have like, 2 passives and 1 command, or you could have 3 passives, or whatever. But the thing is that the max is only having 2 command abilities. Another really cool thing is that whenever you master a job, the good bits will stick with you in any other job, not just like the freelancer job or the onion knight job or the mime job. Like the fighter's strength and the monk's vitality will go into a priest job or a thief job or an archer job, whatever, but again, only if you do master it. So anyway, the main meat of the game is going into these dungeons, because you have your hub town, and then you go to the dungeons, and it looks like there's like 6 dungeons or whatever, but the dungeons are very meaty, there's a lot to them, and there's like a fog of war effect going on there too, which is really cool. The encounters are on screen, and that fog of war effect kind of allows them to kind of sneak up on you, but you can also sneak up on them in order to get preemptive attacks and whatnot, and there is also an auto battle feature too, which is really, really nice. The dungeons are not random. This is key. They're not random, but if you do re-enter the dungeons, new chests might appear, so you can continue like exploring them whenever you're grinding or leveling up or whatever. And another really neat thing is that at the end of the battle, if one of your characters is like in critical condition, you know, they're like low on HP or whatever, it's going to ask you if you want to do an automatic recovery and then like automatically cast a spell to heal them up. You don't have to go into the menu to heal them up after battle. Keep in mind, you do not get levels up, or you do not get healed after a level up. MP is limited. This is very old school. This is kind of Final Fantasy 1 meets Final Fantasy 5, I've got to say. Like, whenever you need to revive your characters, you have to go into a clinic and pay a fee in order to revive them, and the fee is a bit substantial, I've got to say. So just do keep that in mind. There are healing fountains scattered throughout the dungeons, but you can only use them one time and then they'll drain. So you need to be cognizant of whenever you use them. So what I wanted to do was, like, if I saw a healing fountain, I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and clear out the rest of the floor, clear out all the enemies, then go back and use the healing fountain, then go up to, then go up to like the next floor. There are trapped chests. Unfortunately, things like crossbow traps and things like that, and one-way doors and stuff like that, but you can put a thief in your party and kind of mitigate some of those. There is a story here, but it's very bare bones. It's kind of a Final Fantasy 1 sort of thing, I've got to say. It's pretty much an excuse for the hub town and the 6 main dungeons. So here's the story. The evil archdemon Baramos, no, actually it's an unnamed archdemon, has returned to the power, and you need these ancient relics to like put the archdemon away, but the ancient relics are like sealed away in a sealed castle, so you have to retrieve those ancient relics, but the relics have a will of their own, so they're going to attack you, so you have to like subdue the relics to get them to like basically equipment, you know? It's kind of like getting the really cool equipment in Kuza Castle in Final Fantasy V, but you have to like fight a boss to get it, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, you'll go ahead and get those relics, so then you have the power to defeat the archdemon, but in order to get the power for the relics, you have to get the job classes, so you have to go up, like, the Tower of Trials, and then overcome these trials to get more and more job classes. I was able to unlock the Archer as well as the Bishop job classes, but believe me, there are plenty more job classes, actually. So yeah, and it also gives you, like, recommended levels in order to complete those challenges and get the new jobs and stuff like that. And as you progress, the townsfolk will talk to you and they'll give you like more quests. Like they'll be like, oh no, the goblins came and they stole the iron ore, so we need to go there and retrieve it. And once you do, iron equipment will be available over in the weapon shop, so that's really cool. The only thing I've got to say that would possibly make this anything better would be more of a coherent story and an actual, you know, world map. But beggars cannot be choosers, and I will take what I can get. I absolutely adore stuff like this, and I really just wanted to bring it to your attention. I haven't beaten it yet, like I said, but this is more of like, hey, look at this game. It's here. You should try it out because it's really freaking cool. But now I want to hear from y'all. What do you think about this game? Are you going to be trying it out for yourself? You can check out the demo. The game, I think, is on sale for like 15% off. I think it was like $7.50, so it's not that much money. So yeah, it's really freaking cool and a whole lot of fun. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, and as always, have a good day.